Happy Tuesday, everyone. You're listening to Grab Her by the Mic, the podcast for women who've given up on having their shit together, but not on being hilarious. Today on the pod, we're planning on diving into the Epstein files dropping. Robert Irwin is making millennial women everywhere feel unwell, and apparently polka dots and squirting are having a comeback. But before we get into all those moments,
Wow.
we need to jump into Recap and Rosé, the part of the podcast where we pour a glass of rosé, we spill about our weeks, and we debrief about what went well, what did not, and where we went wrong.
It's Recap and Rosé, the part where they relive their week like it was national news.
So wrong. I'll start.
You start.
Actually, you know what? I start every week. You start this week.
Okay, so last week, imaginary listeners learned that my husband was away, and I was parenting my children by myself for the first time ever. So it continued to go downhill.
Oh.
At the start of the week, it was still a little bit of a shit fight. It was impossible to get out of the door on time. My daughter had tonsillitis as well, so she was home with me. I didn't sleep, so I was pretty much walking around with my eyes hanging out of my head. But on the good side, the unexpected benefit of having my husband away for over a week is I lost 2.5 kilos because I just did not remember to eat.
We should send them away more often. See, I feel like I'd be the opposite.
Well, it's also I was hyper-focusing on painting this studio.
Yes, the studio is ever evolving, ever changing.
Every single record, it's going to look a little bit different, which is it keeps things a bit spicy. It keeps things a little bit exciting. That's really all of it for my week is shit fight with the kids. Yeah. And husband is back now.
Eating again?
Well, yeah, to a degree. For lunch today, I just went and bought myself a steak and cooked it. That's all I felt like. One steak.
One steak. Not a veggie inside.
Not a veggie inside.
What cut of meat?
Scotch fillet.
Okay. From where?
From where? From Coles.
From Coles?
Of course.
Oh, wow.
I'm not fancy.
Love a steak.
I just love a steak.
Bit of meat.
A little bit of meat. What about your week?
It's actually been a really good week. I've been fighting a bit of a cold.
Oh, yes. Shall we mention the farty cough drops?
Cough drops, the anti-cold fart drops.
You're saying it's silent but deadly.
Deadly.
Well, how fun is that? I'm glad that I'm sitting in a small and close space with you because you've had at least 4 of them in the last hour.
I will get in my car tonight after leaving this record and I will let her rip. So I've been fighting a cold. I had a really good week. I've been really trying to focus on the kids and like our manifest last week was don't try and overdo it in the afternoons and I haven't felt well. So
drop at least one thing from your second shift. I think that was the matter.
Drop at least one thing. And I've got a husband who's at home injured at the moment. So he's been really helping in that department. So it's really nice to have him around until you just sometimes want to be on your own when you get home.
I mean, I feel like I've not ever been alone, truly.
Just because the voices in your head.
The many voices in my head.
I have enjoyed being a little bit more in the moment and not worrying so much about the chores.
That's really nice. Like, I feel like your weeks are always positive and mine, I'm just hating on life and...
But think about my life 6 to 12 weeks ago. Like, life goes in those peaks and troughs. And sometimes there's a good reason that both of us aren't...
Manically happy?
Manically happy. Or down in the dump.
Or manically depressed.
Yeah.
One or the other. There's no in between.
We've offset each other a little bit, which is good.
Put us together and we're one normal human being.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
That's why we function. Takes 2 to function.
It does take 2 to function.
And I had a little bit of a highlight this week. I decided to put my phone away when I took the kids to swimming lessons because I sit there and scroll or...
Do you?
Yeah.
I can't do that with swimming lessons. I feel like I'm getting judged.
No, I do.
I like to make a show of letting people know that I'm watching my children.
The opposite. So I sat there and I watched them swim and I just thought it was just really nice to see them looking at me and...
Well, they're already looking at you. You're just not looking at them.
That's right. For the first time ever. So I really enjoyed that. I just had a really nice sort of placid, calm week. But that's because I'm not feeling 100%. So I think that's why I sort of just took a bit of a slower approach to the week.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Again, another really tame week.
Yeah, but you wait.
Wait for the school holidays to drop?
Yeah. No, we'll just wait till the episode, like through this episode, our different segments.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple of ever-evolving segments. I also think we should address early on in the recording that you have stickers on your face.
Yes, my daughter has stuck stickers on my face, and was sort of a life-threatening situation if the stickers were to come off the face, so it's just better to keep them on. And now that they're on, I kind of feel like it's a vibe. So they're just staying on, and hopefully they'll wash off when I wash my face later tonight. Could leave them on, like sometimes you have a big night out and you wake up and there's an eyelash like down here.
Yeah. Gross. On my eyelids.
She's trying to give you an eye lift. That's a thing these days. No one has eyelids anymore, apparently.
It's a something plastic. Honestly, it looks amazing. Yeah, I would do it. Not much I wouldn't do.
It's true.
Well, you've got stickers and I've got soy sauce.
You do smell a little bit salty.
Salty.
Salty soy.
That was actually another nice way to end the week. Like the kids and I and my...
Oh my gosh, your wife is just so perfect.
No, but it's not. I just feel I'm trying to find joy in these things because like they give me joy.
Honestly, it goes so quick. Of course, you should be trying to find joy in all of these
But
things.
ever since Pat had his accident, I think this is something I'm trying to do. Just as a little mini manifest, mini focus. Because I didn't appreciate what I had before all of that. And it all sort of flipped on its face. And I was like, God, I wish I could go back to when life was just what I thought was normal and boring, and not boring, but uneventful.
That's the thing, is you look back at the moments like that. Like they say, the kids are never going to remember what you give them or you putting in additional effort to make some bake stall cake look perfect for the cake stall. But what they will remember is the spontaneous little moments that you spend. Yeah. Like this morning, I called my son's best friend's mum and said, hey, like, why don't I just pick him up and they can just spend the afternoon together, because I knew they would entertain themselves in a less chaotic manner than most kids, because they're really, really sweet and beautiful boys. And that would then allow me to finish my work for the day and be just like, that's something he'll remember, of the spontaneity. And I think routine is really good for kids, but it needs to be balanced with spontaneity and joy, little moments of joy interspersed throughout the week and not just all on the weekend.
Yeah. Fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, let's get into our mic drop moments for the week.
All right, folks, this is the mic drop moment, and apparently the ladies think this one is extremely important. They're about to go on about it, probably longer than necessary, so strap in.
The first one I want to talk about is the news that the Epstein files are going to be released within the next 30 days. What the media is saying is, so Trump signed for them to be released, passed unanimously, the Senate and the House, or whatever it needed to do, on the 19th of November. So then there's 30 days for the Department of Justice to release the files, redacted files. So who knows what they're going to be. And I feel like I got a little bit of whiplash from Trump of absolutely in no way did he want them released, all of a sudden encouraging the DOJ to release them. And I wanted to see what your thoughts were that.
Look, I am not, I'm probably one of the only people in the world
who gives zero fucks about it.
Totally. But I'm invested in, of course, the drama and all of the publicity and the celebrities and the royal family being caught up in it. Well, he's no longer considered, he has lost his title. But I think Trump would only allow for that to happen if he was 100% sure that it wasn't going to put him in a position where he was a bad guy or had bring anything he did to light that's untoward. I have a feeling that, yeah, he knows what's coming out, so he's allowing for it to go ahead.
I think also part of it might be the fact that what is coming out, or what at least we've seen as being referenced to him, is nowhere near as incriminating as everybody else. So he actually looks like the good guy in this situation. And I find it really interesting that also is in Virginia Giuffre's memoir that came out after she died. She was adamant that he had no part in any of it, and she remained adamant in the memoir all throughout her life as well. And then I also look at Trump's peacekeeping efforts. It seems different to the performative version of himself at campaigns.
Yeah.
When you actually look down, like, to things like that.
Yeah.
How much of him is performance?
Oh,
he used to be a Democrat.
All of it's performance. It's all performance. And I think with everything that he's putting forward at the moment to try and, stop wars.
For a Nobel Peace Prize, we know these campaigning
he
for
really
that.
wants that. That's like, this is all part of it. He doesn't just go out and do, he does do stuff that he probably shouldn't do and says stuff all the time last minute, but this would be very, very calculated.
Well, completely unqualified to talk on anything US politics.
No, I want you to be our US
Correspondent.
correspondents or just like our Trump.
Honestly, a lot of the stuff with him just makes me so aggressively angry. It actually would mar my opinion.
Well, you could be that correspondent.
I always am that correspondent of speaking with authority that I don't have. But I did live in the US in the Obama era, so it's a bit of a contrast. My husband just got back from there. I've barely spoken to him since he got back.
He was supposed to be our correspondent.
Yeah, I asked him how to set up a GoPro and he really fobbed us off.
They just don't want to have a bar with us. I mean, it is Friday and
It's Friday. He's jet lagged. Anyway, we digress. This is a tangent. I'm just keen to see what actually comes out versus what they've redacted, or if we're just going to see 3 words on a page and black marks everywhere else.
what if it's really boring?
I don't think it can be boring considering allegedly, because we don't want to get sued. I'll correct this in the chaos correctional, but there was reference to being blown.
We bring you getting blown and squirting in one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal. Okay.
All right, next thing I want to talk about. The next mic drop moment for me, I realized this week that Robert Irwin is making millennial women everywhere unwell and is really triggering our morality, our age, and, questioning a little bit of everything. Last I remember, he was a baby on TV. And now he's ripping his shirt off on Dancing with the Stars and getting perfect scores and actually just really sending Australia into their cougar era.
I would agree. I think he is hotter than I ever thought he was going to be. Like, I used to watch Steve growing up on TV.
Well, that's the thing is most women our age, this is what they did. And now they're going, I'm sorry, were you not just in nappies and now you can respectfully break my back?
Yeah. We need to give this episode a rating. It's R-rated.
Oh, no, everything has the little E next to it for explicit.
He just, when he stood up on that podium where the judges were and watching him on like Instagram, that guy or that boy, what are we calling him? I see everyone feel weird saying he's a guy because he feels like a infant.
Well, he was an infant the last we checked.
But that's what makes us feel old.
But that's what makes me feel deeply uncomfortable.
Watching him?
No, it's the thoughts that come into my head when I do watch him.
Yeah.
Because you go, oh yeah, and then you go, no, wait.
I can't think like that.
Wait a second. But what I really do like about it is he's had a glow up. He's probably in everyone's spank bank since the bond's out, let's be real. All the snakes now are just waiting for him to hold them. But what I like about it is he's utilising the platform for his effort on conservationism. And, he's partnering up with Prince Harry.
I don't want him to partner up with Harry.
I'll call him a multitasker. Like his conservationism he's always had in line with what he had with his dad and the zoo and everything like that. But then he's had this glow up. He was the first celebrity announced on this season of Dancing with the Stars. And I don't think he'll win. I don't really watch it. I just watch the shirt ripping moments. Mm-hmm. And he's like, got a snake and a kangaroo. And I'm like, oof. Oh, that's all I was going to say. It entered my psyche a lot this week.
Yeah, I did a bit of a deep dive and then I looked at like all the things the poor boys had to apologise for.
Why is he apologising for being too damn sexy?
So he's got 2 apologies he's had to give. The first one was to a restaurant. He was there at lunch and because he's obviously been taking off his shirt.
Like at the restaurant, is he eating shirtless? Is he worried he's going to get soy sauce down his shirt like you?
I got so much soy sauce. But he kind of got like bombarded by all these fans and he was just like, and fled the restaurant. Well, he forgot to pay and they rang him to say, oh, you forgot to pay. And he was like, I'm so, so sorry. They were like, no, it's fine. If you don't worry about paying, just give us a shout out on your socials and we'll call it even. He said, I'll even one up you. And he went onto his bigger platform, I think, of YouTube. I was like, you guys really, really need to go and have lunch at this pavilion at this place. And
wasn't it in...
Don't.
I have a bone to pick with Coffs Harbour, but
I can't do it off the air.
Bone to pick.
Don't. You make me nervous.
Do I?
Well, I just don't know if you're going to...
It's a little bit hard to get to.
Oh, yeah. Is that where the Big Banana is?
Yeah.
We stop there all the time, but we only ever go to the Big Banana because it's so hard to get into Coffs.
Yeah, it's so hard to get into Coffs Harbour. Last time I went to the Big Banana was when we went to Byron.
Yes.
Okay, anyway.
Robert Owen.
What was the other thing he apologized for?
Oh, well, he had to say to Mum, like, I'm sorry, Terry. I took my shirt off. I guess she didn't think he was going to get up there and be such a sex icon. So he's had to kind of say,
She's not clutching at pearls, is she? Is she clutching her pearls?
clutching her pearls.
Terry,
I mean,
no.
she's got a fringe.
I always had an issue with Terry.
Why?
I don't know. Something about her always just irked me.
Gave you the ick?
Something ick. I think it was the fringe.
What about when she dated Rusty, Russell Crowe?
I did not know that.
I'm sure we need to fact check that one.
I cannot have you continue to just talk out of your ass. The fact checks are getting to be longer than the actual record.
I'm sure. Anyway, we'll fact check that.
Do you have any mic drop moments for this week?
Yeah, so I love Victoria. Even before the documentary, I actually felt sorry for her after the documentary, but that's a whole other issue. But this morning I was sitting with my coffee in the car and she'd posted on her Instagram her singing a beautiful song with her son Cruz. And it's one of my favorite Spice Girls songs. And she's just sitting kind of really organically in the room with him. He's just on his guitar. And I kind of looked at her and I probably look at her with a bit of pity now. And I think that's why I sat in that song with and watched it. And I was like, I feel bad for her. And here she is just singing with her son. I was thinking in my head how broken I'd be if I'd lost connection with one of my children.
Yeah.
Because there's that whole thing going on with the son and the daughter-in-law and who's got the bigger boat in the Mediterranean or
The Peltzers have way more money.
Of course.
Boats like the little tuggy, like, the little rowboat that they go out from their yacht on.
Yeah. Just think we'll put a little sound clip in here of the song.
We can put a sound clip, and we'll put a link in the show notes.
It's beautiful. And that was kind of like the first time I've kind of seen her. She's kind of sitting in a grey hoodie, no makeup, blankie on her legs. But I kind of thought it was a nice accompaniment to her documentary that was quite high-end, fashion.
More polished.
Ooh la la life. And here she is just singing really beautifully with her son. So I think that's kind of like my mic drop, kind of took my breath away in the morning.
How do you sit organically?
When I say organic, like it was an organic moment. It was raw. It didn't look like her documentary.
I was just being a dick. I've got one more thing I want to talk about for the mic drop moments.
Oh, no.
And I read this last night. I was scrolling last night, late at night, sort of thinking about what we're going to talk about today. And I had read that there is a school in the UK who has banned the kids from singing any K-pop Demon Hunters songs because it made them feel uncomfortable because it was a Christian values school. And it reminded me of the first time my kids ever watched K-pop Demon Hunters. So I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I think like a lot of parents is the kids watched it before the parents actually realised the content of what they were watching.
And
even though they're chopping demons up with swords and it's glitter that comes out of the demons and not blood, the violence is still there. And and I think what made this school particularly uncomfortable was the connotation of like the demon side, which is funny because the first time my parents heard about the K-pop Demon Hunters, that's exactly what my mum said. Demon.
Yeah, because it's in the title and it's pretty demonic.
Demons are cartoon-esque, but it is a bit heavy.
I know. I haven't really thought about it until this article.
I haven't either. And then I saw this article. My question is about the actions of the school. And if you flat out ban something in school, does it do the opposite effect to kids? Does it make them therefore want to know more about it, do more about it? Does it make them feel like they've done something morally wrong when you just flat out ban it? Is it not better to sit and talk to the kids about it and to talk to them about the different viewpoints and why?
But we don't know if they have had that conversation.
That's true.
And as a result, saying that we no longer will allow it in the school. I work in a school and I imagine that if they're going to ban something, there would be a conversation with the children around why. It may not be because of the kids. It might have come from parents being concerned. I mean, my kids have watched it
7 million times.
Yeah, and once I had sat down and watched it with the kids, I thought, like, the music is really good, and I can't say that it's not because I loved the music, and I can see why the kids absolutely fell in love with the story. But mine, again, have a 4 and a 6-year-old. Is their awareness not there? No, I don't think they really understand the storyline. Mine are there for the colours and the singing and the dancing, where I think maybe is it a lesson to all of
Oh,
us?
100% as parents, we should probably pre-screen some movies before our kids watch them. But like I said to my mum, by the time I had watched it with them, they had somehow already watched it 2 or 3 times. So like that ship had sailed.
Damage was done.
I was like, the damage was done. You know what? Their therapists can deal with it in 20 years' time. That is
Okay.
someone else's problem now. I love to sing it.
You got me onto it.
I did. And we had the disco party down in the dungeon.
We were disco dancing.
Yeah, I found a half-eaten apple like 2 weeks after that.
Wasn't me. It was the demon.
With the demons. Okay. All right. Well, moving on to the next part of the podcast, which is trend or trash.
Trend or trash. Look at them pretending they have taste.
We're just going to have a look at something that is trending at the moment or that we see out there in the world. And we're going to judge it. And we're going to judge the shit out of it.
Okay.
And it can be either trend, as in, yeah, we think it's a good thing, or it can be trash, as in, like, not good. What do you have?
I've got
Which one are you going to start with of the 2 things that you believe are having a comeback at the moment?
ease our way into it.
Okay. Go for
I'm
your
going
life.
to start with the polka dots. Looking at all the runways at the moment and all the fashion mags, polka dots obviously having a comeback, massive, which is a little bit like when the double denim came back in, the New Balance shoes, all those things like that really dad vibe. It's like that 90s trend where we look at polka dots and we kind of think, is it a bit grandma? Is it a bit of an old lady?
What's the definition of a polka dot? How big are we talking? What's a polka dot?
This is the thing. The trend is actually to wear multiple garments that have different levels of polka dot, different color tones, mix and match, bandanas in your hair, and then a little singlet, even nail art. Nail art, polka dots is honestly the next best thing.
Do you have the time to find that many different type of polka dot in your day to wear? It just gives off vibes to me of you got up, you rolled around in a pile of clothes on your floor, and just whatever stuck you left on for the day. I'm going to tell you trash.
Oh no!
Can't get with a polka dot. And this, honestly, it does remind me of, it gives me grandma vibes.
No, but I think if you think about it, Jacqueline Kennedy, polka dots.
Polka dots?
She wore this white one that it was so, like it was very much like little, like micro dot almost.
So my mother-in-law loves a large polka dot in a linen.
You are honestly going to get yourself cancelled from your personal life.
It's not a negative thing, but that's why it gives off grandma vibes, because she, in my mind, is grandma. She is my kid's grandma.
I love my mother-in-law. She's the best.
That's not what you told me.
No, don't, because I do love her. You know that. She wears polka dots. But what I'm saying is,
You have kids, right?
Yeah.
So she's a grandma. Grandma vibes.
no. See, I look at some of the older women in our society, especially like Glenn in All's Fair. All this fashion, I think there's a timelessness to polka dots. It's like pinstripes. They've never gone out of fashion.
Polka dots feel like an unhinged mental breakdown.
French Riviera.
French Riviera, I see lemons. I don't see polka dots.
I think it's a trend, and I'm telling you now.
You're trending it, I'm trashing it. But I bet you, yeah, in less than a month's time, I'll be in different levels of dopamine dressing in polka dots.
Well, it's interesting because they do have a level of dopamine to them, polka dots.
Not to me.
There are people in this world that will appreciate my polka dot trend. But I also think we're not talking correctly and we've got the slurs because the paint fumes in here are so high.
I've done a fucking good job, though. Like, I drenched this.
Actually, speaking of drenched.
Speaking of drenched, what's your other trend or trash for this week?
Well, I've been listening to a few things going around the streets. I have a theory that squirting, people are talking about it more. It's trending, but I had to Google the definition of it.
Please tell me you brought the definition of squirting with you to this podcast record.
I mean, I didn't, but vaginal squirting is actually from the urethra. It comes from there. It doesn't come from the vagina hole. Is that the correct terminology?
Vagina. I don't think it's vagina hole. I think it's just vagina. Squirting is apparently a thing. Trend or trash, you're saying? We're going to trend or trash squirting?
It's one of the most searched criterias when people are going on to watch porn. They're going on and it's part of their criteria.
But what is it? Like, what is the liquid?
It's actually urine.
Actually urine?
I think, yeah.
Well, I need to correct this in my chaos correctional that I film under a blanket at night.
Do some reading. I'm not going to give any scientific names, but because it comes out of the urethra, they've just confirmed that it comes from the bladder. And when the bladder actually contracts and wee comes out, that's actually what you call urination.
Is it?
Yeah. I worked for a urologist for a while, and that's actually urination. So the bladder contracts and that's how we can wee. But this doesn't come out through bladder contraction. It comes out through pressure that comes through the penis being inside.
But it comes out on orgasm. It doesn't just come out just because the penis is inside. It's something to do with the contraction
It's
of
the contraction of the G-spot that it's hitting and the penis is hitting. I'm going to trend it.
I mean, anything that gives you pleasure, I'm going to trend. Apparently, if you have sex on a full bladder, your orgasms are way more intense.
Yeah.
And you're probably more likely then to squirt.
Let it rain.
Let it rain. Oh, gee. Okay. I'm going to bring one thing to trend or trash.
You are?
I heard this week that Labubus are getting a movie. So they're little, I don't know how you would describe them, demon monster
characters.
It's just been announced that they're making a Labubu movie. I just don't know how I feel about Labubus. I think it's a little bit too young for us. I don't see many millennials sporting around the little Labubus. First of all, like, what is that movie going to be about? And second of all, I worry about the environment and Labubus and just the consumerism and the waste of it. That whole virality and scarcity culture that's around Labubus called blind box economics. You're going to go and buy 50 of the blind box Labubus in the hopes of getting one. So then what happens of all the ones that you don't want?
I think it's because people are addicted to feeling joy or dopamine.
It is.
And that's suspense of what I'm going to get. And then they get disappointed. It's like gambling.
It is gambling. It does feed into the ADHD impulsivity and that novelty seeking that come with the neurospiciness.
Do you feel like you'd like to just...
Oh, but I won't get one because, you know, once you pop, you can't stop.
So you wouldn't go there because you know you'd deep dive into it?
I know that I would focus one that I just have to get because I've got no sense of putting any time between a want and a purchase. If I want something, I'll go out and make it happen. If I want the walls purple, I'll go out and get it done. That is part of the ADHD impulsivity to the detriment of everything else in my life and my sleep and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just wondering about like that blind box economic culture. How is that affecting our brains and our wiring?
But
and
also
our mental health.
Kids. Like our kids, like I remember as a kid, I used to get a present or a toy and it would last me years. These kids have high turnover in these toys. And every Christmas there's a new thing that they've got to get.
Well, I'm doing one present this year.
What are you doing one?
Well, like one, like they're getting one big present, like they're getting one and they're getting the same thing and they'll have a couple of stocking stuffers and Santa just always gives books.
Yeah, I'm doing the same this year. I'm not doing any more crap.
I always say that and then it gets to Christmas and I'm like, cute, cute. Oh, cute. Look at that.
I don't go to the shops. I get books. They get a new school bag from Santa and a new lunchbox from Santa. Yeah, I think it's really good to not overbuy, but I think all of this stuff creates addiction. And then the movie will come out. There'll be new characters in the movie and the cycle starts again.
What's the storyline going to be? They don't give a shit. It's just about consumerism in my mind. They're just going to sell more. Anyway, so Labubu trend or trash in your mind? I believe it's trash because I really worry about what that impulsivity and that blind boxing sort of thing, what that does to our minds and also what it does to the state of the planet and where does all that rubbish go?
I'm not drawn to a single bit of it.
Trash.
Trash it. It's trash. I mean, you can put it on a Hermes bag and think it's cute.
Show me your Kelly. Where's your Kelly?
No, I don't have it, but I'm saying that's what all the stars are doing.
Yeah. Well, you can buy them actual like Louis Vuitton outfits to dress them
That's what I mean. Trash that. Trash.
So unnecessary. We do not need that.
No. Labubu. Poo-poo.
La-poo-poo. Trash.
Trash.
Okay. Next section.
Actually, I've got one more trash. It's a flat out trash. You will agree with me. I promise you'll go 100%.
Okay, go on.
Our cleaner being away this week.
I forgot to cancel the payment again.
She got paid for not turning up to you.
Yeah. And after she reminded me to do it, she reminded me to cancel the payment. The funny thing is when we talked about the cleaner being away and you said, oh, I just don't want to have to clean the bathrooms myself. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be cleaning in between her not coming.
Oh, no,
the bathroom will survive 1 week. Second shift that. Your bathroom is new. Your bathroom will survive 1 week of no clean.
Yeah.
Of no deep clean. Like, obviously keep it clean. Don't squirt in the shower and not clean it up.
Yeah. Anyway, I really miss our cleaner. Missed her today.
Okay. Moving on. Next part of the podcast. I don't think we did this last week. Minor events and major reactions.
Minor events, major reactions, women overreacting, shocking.
Let's normalize us overreacting or having the wrong reaction to certain moments in our lives. I want to start with yours because, of course, I've gone way deep into psychology with mine.
Mine's an interesting one. So my husband's at home at the moment and he'll be going back to work in the beginning of 2026. He had my daughter home with a bit of a cold and she stayed home from school, and they decided to talk about all the nice things that I do for them and appreciate me, and they were having conversation, and so they decided together.
Talking about how amazing you were.
Yeah.
And they wanted to acknowledge that, and they wanted you to know that they see everything you do for them. Very cute. Very nice.
So they came up with a plan. They'd go to the shops and they'd buy me my favorite
Consumerism
stuff. And they came home, and my one thing when I come home is I just want to walk in the door and relax. And I always
Said
say
every
that
mother
mummy's coming
ever.
in and mum's going to relax, and then I'll get stuck into stuff. Have a cup of tea or a glass of wine or
So
something.
wholesome.
And glass of water, do a wee, all those things, take your bra off, socks
The
and
best feeling.
shoes, under your denim that feels a bit tight. And so I decided to, come home, and I walked in the front door and they were hiding. They came out and they surprised me in the lounge room with a day spa. So I like all my nice things, and
You used to be a hairdresser, so you've got nice expensive conditioner and shampoo.
conditioners, shampoos. And my daughter had set up a hair salon with all her toys on the bed or on the lounge. All my pillows were on the floor. Candle that I love to burn when the posh
The
people
good
come.
candle.
A good candle.
Not one of the ones from my line of candles that I gave you recently.
That's my bedroom one. That's my very special one
Oh
too.
gosh, it's not the squirting candle, is it?
God, you're just creating more work for yourself.
I'm leaving this shit in.
I just, as much as I thought, wow, this is, and a little letter saying, I love you. You're a beautiful mum. You do so much
They wrote
for
you a
us.
letter?
Yeah, there was pictures.
Maggie write it, or did your
Patty
husband?
did not write it. It was from her. I love you, mum. Thank you. And she
Oh.
came up to me and hugged me,
And
and
it would have been her idea.
all her
'Cause
ideas.
she is gorgeous.
The whole lounge room was unrecognizable at this stage.
Oh, but wasn't your husband helping with folding of the laundry?
Oh, and there was a couple of washing baskets that had kind of,
been folded.
no, they just kind of,
Oh, I thought they'd been folded.
no, he had folded them after.
Oh, did you refold them?
No, never. We're not into folding. We just fold, pack it.
Shove it.
Shove it. And my first thought was, wow, this is really sweet. And then this parenting panic overcame my body of these guys are all going to leave me and I'm going to have to clean up the day
These guys
spa.
are going to bed.
And there was 900. All of this happened. She sat me down. She gave me a glass of water. She gave me a kombucha.
That's what your farty self
She
needs.
brushed my scalp till it bled. I had pigtails, plaits, bunny ears. At one point, the conditioner went in my hair with a teaspoon and a glass. And I just, in my head, was thinking,
Can you hurry up? I
relax.
really got to put this stuff away.
I want to put all this stuff away. And then, absolutely, 100%, I was completely right. The treatment was over because I'd gotten to the point where
They moved on to something else.
and they were gone. She was out jumping on the jumping castle and trampoline.
Oh my
and
God, you didn't put that jumping castle
No, I
up
didn't put
again
the
after she
jumping-
broke her arm.
No, but yeah, and then the washing.
And what did your husband do?
Much. She went off fishing that night.
Oh, he went fishing.
So I then potted around and picked up 999 of the 1,000 hair elastics off the floor, and all the dog gets the dolls off the lounge and put all the pillows back on. And I sat down and I remember thinking, I have got so much breakage in my hair from that day spa.
You had an inappropriate reaction. You should have just really marinated in those feel-good vibes. But
Which I try to do all the time.
the world gives you a perfect opportunity,
So beautiful. It was such a nice, sweet gesture.
but you hated them at that moment.
And then they all went to bed, and then I got the guilt and thought, oh my God, I'm a bad
You're like, I
mum.
miss them. And then they move slightly. You're like, oh shit, don't wake up. Please don't wake up.
And then she woke up in the morning and I thought, no, just say thank you and acknowledge it. So yeah, that was my minor and major.
Minor event, appropriate reaction.
Absolutely inappropriate. What was yours?
So driving to school, I think this was Tuesday. So this was the day before my husband was due to be back. So I'd been through the washing machine with no powder.
I smelt like camel when I got out of the washing
like camel. I had been through the ringer. I was at the end of my tether. I was afraid not. You know that joke? Afraid not. Yeah. So yeah, driving to school and son goes, oh, he's just obsessed with getting picked up at Turning Circle at 3:00, which we can never do because we work full time. My husband and I both. I'm lucky to finish work at 5. So he just has this obsession with being able to get picked up with the bulk of his friends. And I feel bad.
Yeah.
And then there, I'm tired. Mabel's had tonsillitis. I'm exhausted. And he goes, I wish he was my mum.
Oh, no. Did you get the lump in your throat?
I didn't get the lump in my throat. I just started crying.
Oh, no.
I just started crying. And he was very uncomfortable with the crying
Was
because
he?
for him, and I think this is an ADHD thing, is emotion and the regulation of your emotions is a little bit more intense, ADHD. And I said, like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that to me? You know, you've hurt my feelings. Like, I feel that makes me really sad that you said that. I feel like I do a lot for you. I love you so much and I would never want another son. Oh, because she picks up my friend every day from Turning Circle. And I just felt like it was so unfair. And it was just a combination of the whole week being an absolute shit fight. I wished I'd handled it better. So the major reaction was the crying. Obviously, it was compounded with everything else going on. But I started to question whether or not it's actually a good thing to cry in front of your kids. So I did do a little bit of a deep dive on that. And I swear there are other people who've gone through this.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. And I guess, poo-poo for me, but apparently, yes, 100%, it's great. It's good to cry in front of your kids because it can show a healthy way of processing your emotions. But what's key to doing it, especially with young kids, is sort of vocalizing what you're going through with the emotions to them so they can,
Like, I'm crying because.
so they can see you model coping and they can see you modeling the processing of the emotion. So I read that the first step is, okay, so you're crying, you name the emotion. So what I should have done in that situation is, well, Noah, I feel sad. And then the next step is you give context around that emotion. Noah, I feel sad because you wished you had someone else as your mum.
Yeah.
But then you're supposed to reassure them, like reassure that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But that's okay because I know you don't mean it, right? And then you're supposed to provide them with safety is the reassurance. So you name the emotion, you give context, you provide reassurance, you give safety, and then you model coping, right? So that's what you're supposed to do. That's where you show really good modeling behavior. And that's a big thing with executive functioning and kids with ADHD, from what I learned with Noah's recent diagnosis, is they're normally around 2 years behind their peers with their executive functioning part of their brain. And what's a really good practice is you vocalizing your everyday actions with them of going, okay, so now I'm packing your school bag and I'm putting your ice pack in your lunchbox in this compartment so that it doesn't get your sandwich soggy, and then I'm putting your lunchbox in first, but then I'm putting your hat on top of the lunchbox so that you can easily get it. So then they can start to see your reasoning behind the actions that you do, and that helps bring their executive functioning up to where it should be.
Right.
So I guess it's the same thing with the emotions. You're supposed to name the emotion, tell them why, tell them that you're okay, because what you don't want is your kids to feel responsible for the emotion and then it turn into a parentification thing, which I'll put some links in the show notes about all of these studies that I sort of had a quick look at, especially with ADHD kids, because they can really do a lot of self-blame. Noah seemed to have no problem. I certainly,
Can I ask you a question about it though?
Yeah.
If you could, would you like to pick him up every day?
Yes. I mean, I'd hate it once I picked him up because I'd be like, now what do I do with you?
Yeah, but I wonder if he struck a nerve with you.
It struck a nerve, but it was compounded by many things.
Yeah, but I think it's really healthy that you realize that it's something that you might want to. And so therefore that's why you also got teary.
Yeah. Well, in an ideal world, I would have said, no, I'm sad. I'm sad because you said that you wished someone else was your mum, but I'm going to be okay and I'm going to feel better because I know you didn't mean it. I would also like to be able to pick you up every day, but unfortunately I can't because I have to work.
Yeah.
So that's what I should have done. Instead, I just said, Noah, I'm sad and it's your fault. And it's 100%. I read the articles. I'm like, well, that's exactly what I'm not supposed to do. So I have left that to his therapist for 20 years' time.
Yeah.
So
Keep piling on those things.
just keep piling it on. All right. Well, that's minor events, major reactions. We're going to move into Ask the Unqualified. This is where we answer listener questions with no qualifications and way too much confidence.
Ask the unqualified. They're advising people now. God help us all.
Technically, no one has asked us anything because we haven't launched. We're not live. We're just talking into a deep, dark void and hoping someone hears us.
Yeah.
We're not going to let that stop us from giving unsolicited advice. And we definitely want to keep the segment as a thing and encourage people to call in, text in, DM, do all that stuff when we do go live. So today we're going to ask ourselves a question. Okay, here's the question, Philippa. This is for you. My daughter keeps yelling 6-7 at dinner. My daughter keeps yelling 6-7 at dinner and then laughing like she's leading a revolution. Am I missing something? Is this a cult and do I need to intervene?
6-7.
What is 6-7?
Look.
Now, you work in a school.
I work in a
What's
school.
going on at your school?
They say it 100 times a day. And if you're counting to the kids and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Of course, 6, 7, 8.
7. They go, 6-7. And you're like,
Well, what do they think it means?
I mean, look, I Googled it and that shows my age. I think they know what it means more than we do.
You're working with what age group again? Please remind me.
10s, 11s.
Okay, so a little bit older than our kids.
Yeah, older than our kids. And it's a constant. Hear it, I reckon, 100 times a day. And
Really?
my 6-year-old came home the other day.
No.
Yep.
No.
Sitting up at the kitchen bar.
I will slap it for you.
And she said, Mum, 6-7.
No, but that's what I heard, is that there is a hand gesture that goes with it.
I don't know what this
What is
means.
this? This, in my mind, this is jiggling low-hanging breasts of an old
Oh,
woman.
no, I was milking the udders.
Oh, gosh.
But, like, she goes, Mum, 6-7. And I'm like, no.
Did you ask her? Did you stop and say, Margaret?
I did.
What do you believe that to mean?
I said, I pulled her up on it and I said, do you know what that means? And she goes, what? And I said, that's 6-7. And she says, no, the kids at school say it. I said, well, you really have to be mindful that you know what's coming out of your mouth doesn't mean something rude. Because, she's sworn before and she knows. And she said, I don't know what it means. And I said, look, I don't really know what it means either. So let's go and look. So we looked at it. And I said, and she goes, is that what it means? I said, yeah, that's what it means.
But what does it mean?
It's a basketball player.
Oh, it's a reference to a basketball player.
That's as
But
much
what does the reference actually, like, in
height, his position,
so what does it mean? Like,
jersey number.
when you say 6-7, is it a cool thing because this guy's like a legendary
Apparently.
basketball player?
I think if it's 6-7 is what they're saying to be cool, let them.
Let them.
Like, you're so cool.
Honestly.
Or pick a number between 1 and 100. We played a game the other day. 67.
But remember, for us, it was 69.
Yeah, but at least it's got better meaning.
That's true.
It just has nothing.
But answer the question. Does this hypothetical mother need to intervene? Should she be worried about her kid saying 6-7? Is it a cult? Does she need to intervene and why?
She needs to intervene. She needs to stop it because it's annoying.
It's so fucking annoying.
It has no meaning and it means that she's online and she needs to shut it down.
Oh, I didn't think about that angle.
And enough's enough. I mean,
The online space is the most dangerous space for kids.
let's think about what's happening in the next couple of weeks. Not on social media anymore.
Was that mid-December?
Yeah, and they're bringing it a week earlier. So I said to Maggie, no more. I don't want to hear it. The school I work at, it's banned. You get tickets. You get written up. Can't say it unless they're around me. Apparently, that's just a free for all. Because I just let it go over. Because I'm almost immune to it now.
Yeah, but
it's like the bruh.
No, I can't actually. I mean, if it is like the bruh, my 6-year-old started saying bruh, and I said no. I just said no. We don't say that. No.
You need to draw that line in the sand. And this is what this mother needs to do. Draw the line. No more. Not saying it. That's my opinion.
What was something that you said in your youth that was just nonsense, or like just not like using a word in the right context? Like, for example, I grew up in Orange County in California, and we would always say like the word dank, right? So dank means wet, listless, gross. But we said dank in high school as referencing something being cool, like that's so dank, like that's so like you're so dank.
Yeah, mine's a little bit different. I went to a very Catholic school
No K-pop demon hunters for
No
your
K-pop.
school.
Nuns ran the school. We had kilts down to our ankles.
How many wooden rulers?
That was sort of just before my time.
Okay.
Actually, probably a lot before my time. We'd go to chapel, and I was in a religion class, and the teacher at the time said to me, "Can you read this passage from the Bible?" And I was really confident, and I'd put my hand up all the time and contribute to class and read the passage, and it, instead of saying the Gentiles, I said it was a reading from the genitals.
Perfect.
And I think I said genitals 101 million
So
times.
just a normal Tuesday for you.
And no one picked me up. No one stopped me from reading the passage in the Bible.
Mortification. How old were you?
I was in year 9.
Oh my God.
Awkward. Got to the very end, probably 3-minute reading. And the teacher came up, tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "It's not genitals, it's Gentiles." I wanted to crawl under that desk.
Was it a desk or was it a pew?
Desk.
Okay.
The pew was that afternoon at chapel where I had to confess my sins.
They weren't sins if you had no idea.
Oh, no.
Oh.
We're talking sins. So, yeah, so wrong word. Right word, wrong time.
Right word, wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it. Let's get a little bit silly before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Talk about less serious things.
Oh, no.
Unhinged question of the week. This is where we each answer a question that can be a little bit revealing about ourselves, our parenting styles, or just the stupid shit that we do.
Ask the unqualified. They're advising people now. God help us all.
This week's question is, what is the most ridiculous thing you've told your children just to keep the peace in the household?
Okay, my ridiculous, what have I said? I often tell them that if the television goes on at a certain point, if it goes on, it just blows up, and it will blow up through the roof of the house, and we won't be able to live there. Bit dramatic.
A little bit dramatic.
They kind of nag me for some TV sometimes, and just can't go on, it blows up. It's charging. It's charging. That's what I also say.
Charging.
It's charging.
Mine normally is like, oh, there's just no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but my kids don't have that concept.
Yeah. Mine's very similar. I've got 2. One is, I think, a good parenting moment. One is I'm a terrible parent.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, very similar in your vein, is I let my son know, I say, you can't watch YouTube. It rots your brain. He's not allowed to watch any YouTube unless he has an adult sitting with him because you just don't know what's going to pop up even on the kids' YouTube.
Yep.
The second one, which is going to really reveal my psyche, is if my daughter is being super bitch and she's being really whingy and loud in the car, I do pull the car over and I say I'm going to leave her on the side of the road. Like I physically pull the car over and straight away she goes, no, I'm sorry. Or if a police car drives past while we're driving and she's being like that, I said, Mabel, the police are going to come get you, so you better be quiet. And she goes, and so now she does not like the police, which I'm trying to rectify and go, no, they're just trying to keep us safe. No, it's good.
Yeah.
And then my son always goes, remember that time when the police officer pulled you over, Mum?
Which one?
Which time on the same street?
Time? Same street, same fine.
Let's wrap this bitch up.
Let's wrap her up, baby.
Let's set an intention for the week. Let's do a weekly manifest.
Weekly manifest. Great. They're doing motivational speeches yet again.
Yep. This week, we manifest Robert Irwin level confidence, the kind that makes millennial women everywhere question their age, their marriage, and whether or not we've just entered our cougar era.
Let's manifest it, girls.
Let's manifest it. Let's wrap it up.
This was Grab Her by the Mic.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next
Tuesday.
Chaos Correctional. We have a situation, a very serious situation. They were wrong. Again.
Hello again. I'm back in New Year's to bring all of you that have lasted this long our Chaos Correctional for this episode. This is where I take everything we said, run it through Google, and work out what was fact and what was just our brains sort of freestyling. So let's get into the bits that we got right, the bits we got wrong, and the bits we absolutely should not have said with the confidence that we did. So first up, the Epstein files. Yes, I did get this mostly right. The bill went through the House of Reps 427-1, and then the Senate passed it unanimously. And only after all of that did it land on Trump's desk to sign. I think I said that Trump was encouraging the Department of Justice to release the files. Technically, he signed a law that forced them to. Encouragement, coercion, tomato, your call. I also mentioned something about Virginia Giuffre. While she has written and spoken extensively about Epstein, I couldn't find a reliable source confirming the specific Trump references we mentioned. So that goes straight into the unverified, probably TikTok propaganda pile. And yes, Trump was once a registered Democrat. And no, there is zero credible confirmation of anyone blowing in the files. I don't know where that came from. I couldn't find it, and I probably definitely shouldn't have said it. Next, our collective meltdown over Robert Irwin. Yes, he is working with Prince Harry on conservation projects. Yes, he is continuing the Irwin family conservation mission with the zoo. And Terry Irwin dating Russell Crowe? Still very much celebrity fan fiction, unconfirmed, and only vibes. So was K-pop Demon Hunters the #1 movie on Netflix? Not officially, but it is listed as the most watched original film on the platform. So we're going to say popular enough to get banned, which honestly is an achievement in itself. Do polka dots provide dopamine? There are no scientific studies that I could find, but fashion psychologists do say that novelty prints like polka dots activate reward pathways. So we're calling it vibes-based neuroscience, aka our entire brand identity. So we tackled squirting because, of course we did. Yes, it is a very popular porn search category, but it's not officially the #1. Definition-wise, squirting is the involuntary expulsion of fluid, usually from the urethra or the bladder, during arousal or orgasm. Science is still fighting about the specifics, but yes, it is real. And no, we don't need any more detail before school drop-off this afternoon. On to the little Labubu demons. Blind box economics is basically capitalism with a jump scare. You buy a sealed mystery box, you don't know what's inside, and then your ADHD brain goes, oh, dopamine. Gambling disguised as collecting. One rare toy, 800 ugly ones, and suddenly you've spent $60 trying to complete the set. It's impulsivity, novel seeking, and manufactured scarcity all rolled into one little cute addiction. And yes, it absolutely taps into our ADHD novelty seeking and impulsivity. And that's why I'm not allowed near any collectible toys without adult supervision. Shockingly, we nailed the information on crying in front of your kids. Research does say that emotional modeling is healthy if you name the emotion, give context around it, reassure your kids that they're safe, and avoid making them feel responsible. And yes, ADHD kids often self-blame harder, so the reassurance part matters even more. Also, yes, ADHD kids can be about 2 years behind their peers in executive functioning, which is why mystery box anything hits their little dopamine centers like crack. But 10 points to us for emotional responsibility. Finally, we stand by our original answer about what the fuck is 6'7". It's a TikTok-coded height flex meme children understand instinctively and adults understand not at all. And that concludes this week's Chaos Correctional, where we admit our mistakes, correct absolutely nothing about our personalities, and continue living with the confidence of women who are just doing their best. Links for everything will be in the show notes so you can deep dive, correct us further, or argue with us in private. See you next Tuesday.